Hey everybody, I think we're live. Just getting my reference photo. I think I'm gonna do some creative makeup today. Don't really love this lighting. I might work on adjusting it quickly. We need a light somewhere over there somehow. Except my ring light, the only issue is it's like a giant one, so I can't really put it on my desk, which is the struggle right now. Let's see if I can get a different angle. And then it has to be plugged in too, so let's see what we can do. Should have done this before starting the live, but you know, we do what we do. Just kind of put it upside down. Maybe that will be good enough. I think that's better. I think it's better lighting. Hopefully it doesn't fall. We'll see, I guess. Okay, getting into it. I want to do a look. I did this like crayon drawing. I had a lot of fun doing it. I haven't used crayons in like forever, so that was kind of a fun time. And I took the picture of like a wood scene that I really like. So I think I want to kind of do that on my face. Keeping some negative space of my normal face, I think. I was going to do the whole thing, but I think it's going to be too much. So I'm going to do like kind of splotches of the scene coming in and out. And kind of like apply my own color scheme to it. Thinking a lot of like blues and purples, greens for the water ground trees. And then actually for the tree bark, using a lot of like pinks and stuff. And then I may just add flowers and stuff for the vibes. We'll see though. But I'm going to be using more, I guess, a kind of colorful palette today in terms of the liquid products as well. So I'm just going to get some of that out right now. And I'm actually going to use the back of a mirror of an old palette that I don't use anymore. I just use that as like a palette, and then you can also use it as a mirror. And, you know, if you've used something or you don't really support something anymore, you can just get it all messed up and it doesn't matter. I'm just going to get a little bit of everything out, and we're just going to start painting it on. Hopefully some of this stuff hasn't dried out. It's been a while. Oh, the blue may be out, which is a small problem. I'll just have to try dipping into the jar, but it should be okay. Just mix this one. Some they're like oil based, so the oil separates quite easily. Just mix it back up though, it's okay. Do a bit of that. And then I also have this pink pigment from Sunset Makeup. I will be including that as well, because I want to kind of add a vibrance fun. Like, I'm not trying to go supernatural tones today, at least. And then I'll just use some regular foundation as some highlight. Not highlight, but like mixing tone. Yeah. And then we'll stick with that. I have this like liquid gold stuff I think I'm going to incorporate. So I might just take a couple drops of that on the side. And we'll start there. Get my reference photo up. I'm just going to actually with maybe this blue pencil. I'm going to outline kind of the shape of where I want the splotches to come in and out. Just gonna get a mirror. I'll just take this mirror. And we're just gonna get started. Thinking it's gotta go over the eye at some point. Or does it? From the neck. I don't know how much of the face I want to have it covered by. There, then I might have it like cut through the eyebrow maybe, and then maybe we'll start with 3 patches and we'll see how that looks. We'll probably maybe add more. This is just to give me like a general idea. My picture up. And I'll probably end up like fraying the edges, but I just want to like lay it out first. I'm gonna actually use a buffing brush maybe. And I'm gonna actually get some white foundation on the back of my hand. Just because this product's quite creamy. And then actually I think I may even go more green toned to start. So I'm gonna take a bit of foundation and then green pigment on top of that. Push it into the brush. And then I'm gonna see if I can get any of that blue out of the bottom here. I think it may have dried up. Yeah, that's too bad. Alrighty. So I'm gonna start buffing the green tone in. This can be light, it's kind of like an underpainting. I just don't want any flesh tones to be peeking out when we're done. I'm actually going to connect this now because I think it's going to look cool. Something like that. And then Okay, I'm realizing I definitely need more blue. So I'm actually gonna do some eyeshadows and then go back in with liquid, which I usually wouldn't do, but because it's a creative look, the texture can be a little bit funky. And it won't be like a super big deal. So actually a really deep blue to start. And do I'm gonna do the water texture this way. So I'm gonna start adding depths, dragging the line around. And I'm just gonna kind of slowly build that up. I'm actually gonna push the dark blue into my hairline because actually let me Google water reflection. Sometimes I need to look at what it actually looks like. To remember what the shading is supposed to be. Okay, yeah. So we're gonna keep on deepening towards the front of the face. Kind of longer lines because the waves are a little closer. So it'll appear bigger than the smaller waves in the distance. We'll see though. This may be a fail today. We gotta try new techniques sometimes. We're gonna do a lot of different tones. This is just like the very first one. So it'll kind of just slowly build up. And then you can kind of go lightly out of the bounds, but I'm not gonna go too far. And then I'll do that on the other side here. I think this will look cool at the end. I'm hoping. And then start to get a little shorter. As we move up the face. I think the more of these little lines we add, the cooler it will be. And then I just kind of shade the edge of the face a little bit. And now I'll pick a different shade of blue, and we're going to do it pretty much over and over again. And then I'll probably save the highlights for the very end. I think This time, let's go for a purple tone. I want to get a lot of textures in the mix. I may even change the brush to a little one like this, just to change the texture. So I'm going to take a red tone purple. And get a different mirror, if I can find one. Okay. So now we're going to do the purple, pretty much following the same rule we just did. I might use a little less purple lines, but they're just going to be like kind of accents, shadows, add some interest to it all. It could be reflecting tree bark, or I don't know, something under the water a little bit. It's probably not going to be like perfectly blue. At least this is what I do when I draw. So I don't know how it's going to translate for makeup, but I don't know. I definitely need to come back to this side. I got kind of lazy with the dark blue, but it's okay. There's no real rush. I'm going to be here a while. I actually kind of like this brush for the texture better, at least for when we're getting to the top. And we need to be a little bit more thin lines. But yeah, if anyone has any questions, let me know. Or any look recommendations. We like to try new things out here. So the goal is kind of like to fully cover this green with little lines, if that makes sense. Probably blend that away later. Okay. I'll also maybe add some green. Go with some dark green again. And then again, adding more lines. I'm going to go in with some highlight shades too, but I'm going to use like a liquid product for that, so they can stand out a little bit more. I'll probably end up doing actually a mix of both, just to keep it as textured and unruly as possible, because I feel like if you try to be controlled with doing water, well, you're already not listening to what water is, I think. But I'm trying to keep more of the darker tones down here. We'll add the reflections after. Especially if you can really place the colors on top of each other in a way. It's kind of like building the shadow up. So when you layer the purple and green on top, it also kind of creates a darker tone than before. So you're really like building those depths. I think you're really starting to get the effect on this side. We're work in progress on this side. Okay. Okay. I think I may add even a little bit of orange in the mix now. Maybe even this neon orange. Really a lot lighter on this one though. I want to kind of keep most of the orange closer because I think it's like you would see more of the fine detail maybe up close. I think it's starting to look like water. I'm actually going to use this to kind of line the eye, create a little bit of shape. I think I'm also going to do bright orange lashes. So this will kind of blend in at the end as well. And I really feel like that orange really upped the realism. I was always scared to add colors, and I realized that's why none of my stuff looked, I don't know, it's still not perfect, but the more fun you have with that, the more realistic I think. In like a surrealist way, but anyways, I think I'm gonna take a little bit of magenta, not too much. This one really focusing closer in. Okay, that's interesting. Just keep adding tones, I think. I think now I may go back to the liquids for a bit, then we'll go back to the eyeshadows. I think that will be a fine balance. Actually gonna take some of the gold, mix some red into it. So now it's kind of this. Maybe I'll swatch it on top of the green. You can kind of see it's like a nice light reflection. So just going to maybe kind of layer that where some of that red orange was. Kind of just wanted to complement it. It should kind of pop a little bit more. Okay, cool. I like that. I'm gonna add a little yellow to it now with a little gold. So this is looking a bit more bright. I'm gonna use this more as a highlight even. I think we're getting somewhere. I don't know if we're exactly there yet, but okay. I'm gonna add a little bit of gold and pink for some fun highlight, but I'm mostly saving that to do some flowers later. I'm going to buff in some lighter blue now. I've got this really icy eyeshadow in the Sunset Makeup palette. So I think I'm going to throw some of that blue kind of in the midst of that glitter stuff we threw down. This is just like an icy light blue. Definitely need to get more blue back in the look. Shit. So I'm gonna go back in with that darker blue we used earlier, and maybe mix it with a lighter blue. But I think I just want to do that, and then I'm gonna do some flowers, and then we're gonna see how it looks, and then the highlights as well, because we haven't done any real highlighting. So the look's gonna look a little on the darker side. Like you can't really see the details, but once we do the highlights, it should be quite visible. And I may add more glitters. We'll see. We'll see what we like. But I'm trying to keep kind of more of the darks down here and have it kind of lighten as we move up. Okay. I'm gonna now try to add in a couple highlights to the water. And I'm gonna use some white foundation. I'm just gonna take it usually on the back of my hand, but I guess I'll just do it on my wrist. I just like when the product's a little bit warmed up. So that's why I really like to apply from the hand. I actually may try using this brush. I think the thin bristles could look cool. They may not be thin enough though. Let's see. Okay, I'm not quite doing what I need it to do. That's all right. We're gonna take this brush. Okay. And we're gonna see how this goes. I think I want it to be even more pigmented. So I'm going to take, if I have anything left of this liquid Sunset Makeup I do. Okay. White foundation. I think I want it to be a little 3D. And this should give me the texture I'm looking for. Okay. Okay. Just slowly building up the texture. We're definitely getting somewhere. Okay, I may pause there and then do some like water lily type things. Don't exactly know how that's gonna go, but we're gonna try. I might start with just even putting a little bit of like a dark purple shadow for the kind of butt of where I want it to go. I think it would be nice if there was one like here. And maybe like really tiny ones up here. I could do one. Something like that. I got a little green here. I'll mix that with this brush. Actually, just layering green eyeshadow over the purple is, I think, enough. Okay, and then just one more up here. And then we're gonna get into the flowers. Okay, I'm gonna do some white again. Don't necessarily want it to be pure white, so I'm gonna mix a little bit of the gold. And kind of highlight. And wherever you decide your light source is, just try to keep it like pretty consistent. Okay. Cute, and now I'm going to take more of it, kind of start making oops, sorry. Just going to tap on the general shape of a flower. And I'm going to take some of the glittery pink magenta thing we did earlier. Get a little closer to the base of the flower. And then I'll just add some gold with red and magenta. And we're going to put that like right in the center. And I'm going to give that a second to dry. And then we're going to go with eyeshadow and redefine that. And then I'll probably end up doing orange eyeshadow, I think. Take some purple actually. Just kind of shade where the flowers go in. Okay, now I'm going to go back in with the green and try to kind of like re-solidify some of that lily pad vibe that we were trying to do. The green kind of got blended in. Interesting. Sorry, I need to change my song. It's been playing too many times in a row. Okay, now I'm going to try to do the rest of the face, I think. So I'm just going to take some more neutral foundation. Take a wee brush. Just remember I got mine all dirty with the green, which is okay. I'll try this flat brush. Never used it before. Let's find out. Ooh, don't do that. What am I doing? New brush. Where the fuck did that come from? Do that for now. Gotta reset my hands, they're too dirty. Let me try that again. Okay. Little crevices there, and then I'm going to take a sponge. And we're just going to set that down a little bit, especially where I just threw all that concealer under my eye here. This will also help the flesh and the art stand out, because the flesh is going to be very matte, and the water has a little bit of glitter texture to it. I'm actually even going to add a little bit of this glitter because it's holographic. It's going to picture nicely. Okay, that's good. And now I'm going to tightline because I don't really want the flesh tones to poke through too much. I find just closing your eyes and doing this can be kind of the quickest way, especially if it doesn't like really matter. It's like a nice fast way. Do a little bit of blush on my cheek, just where it's a little bit visible. I wish I had my coral blush actually. Do I have that here? No, that's okay. We're gonna do some pink. I think that's cute. Okay, yeah. And then we're gonna do orange mascara. Or should I do lips first? Maybe we'll do lips first. I think a blue lip liner would be cool. Again, I've been really liking the Kim Possible lip, so. And I'm gonna apply a little bit of my dark burgundy lipstick. I think that's kind of cute. Okay. I think a little gloss will be nice today. Let's do mascara. Okay. Actually, we do hot orange or hot pink. One of the two. Maybe both even. Just do one layer. We'll do 2 layers of mascara. Actually, I think I'm going to do magenta. Changed my mind. Okay. So now you're going to quickly just dip your hand into the shade of pink you want. And then kind of blink through. Oh, don't do that shit though. We'll brush that away. Beta. I just think the pink's going to stand out against the blue-green back here better. And maybe make my eye stand out, because it's kind of like the same tones as the waters here. And I'm really pushing the product in. Yeah, the pink is the right color, I think. Okay. Don't know what I'm gonna do for the hair yet, but we're gonna figure that out as well. Good enough. Ooh, that was almost cute. I think that's the look. I might make small adjustments once I see it in the lighting from the photo shoot, but something like that. Actually, I want to add a little bit more magenta to those few flowers. They're just not sticking out the way I want them to. Okay. See, there's always little adjustments to be done. Okay. I think that will be it then. We'll see if more adjustments come, but I'll post the final results on my Instagram for sure. And I'll probably end up posting something here as well. So if you'd like to see that, feel free to subscribe. I don't know. I'm trying to do a couple floral options because I've joined this makeup artist collab post thingy, which I've never done before. And I'm all worried that my look isn't going to blend in with all the other looks. So I'm just going to have a couple options to submit. So this is going to be one of them. We'll see. I'll see what pictures I get too. But thank you for tuning in. Feel free to subscribe. I'm hoping we can get to like 1.5K maybe by this summer or something. I don't know. We'll see. No rush on it, but it would be cool. Thank you again for joining, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye.